right. Hope you guys are doing good. It is absolutely wonderful out here today. And I think now I've got enough plants off to the left of me that I can keep the window open because it was, well, most of the winter time. So basically the entire time we were doing live streams, I was able to block off the window so I didn't have people walking by wondering what the heck I'm doing in here. And for the past few weeks, I've had to kind of keep the part of the drape shut anyways. And at least now I don't have to because it looks like there's enough plants. So that's good because at least now I get a lot of lights. I hope you guys are doing good. At least I did pop down enough notes. So at least I'll try to hopefully keep track of at least go down and try to make sure I've got them all checked off as I go along. So because I mean there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to talk about today, and we the Calandale video is only about 16 or 17 minutes long, so that's, I guess, a good, you know, I can certainly, I think, fill up quite a bit of stuff. Please let me know what you're up to. 2 weeks, yeah, 13 days to go until Can Games. So if it was, yeah, in 13 days, basically Can Games would have been on for already 1 day. That's pretty amazing. Jesus. Okay, so basically at this time, I will have just started playing, or someone will be starting to explain to me the rules of Britannia, which I think is totally cool. So I actually thinking that Friday night, after I do my game of Pocket Battles at Can Games and then come home, what I'm going to do is probably watch, well, obviously not all of them because there's like 23 something hours or whatever of Meandering Mike's playthrough stuff of Britannia, but just watch some bits and try to get I think he does quite a bit of stuff at like after action review and report and all that stuff, so I wouldn't mind taking a look at that. What else? Yeah, let's go. I do want to talk, I'll go through the news bits and then we'll jump off to that. But actually, I think I should do the History Heroes thing first due to the fact that, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. I think this is what, the 4th week in a row now that I'm sorry, it's going to be a relatively easy a trivia one. So I'm wondering now if now we're going to get back into like a few weeks of just some really hard ones. Yeah, as soon as I start giving you the clues, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I've clued. I get the answer. Remember, you get 1 point for guessing. So there you go. I'll start off here. Oh, good morning, Meandering Mike. I think Charles is here in spirit. He was sending off comments way early. I was like, holy cow. He's like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep, and he was still replying to my comments. I was like, man, that guy's not going to make it or whatnot. So I think he's kind of here but not really there. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to start right off the bat now with the History Heroes trivia thing. And as I was mentioning, it's a pretty easy one. Once you start seeing the clues, you're going to be like pretty quick. But so I'm assuming what was going to end up happening is we're now going to go back into a realm of a lot of really hard ones. So anyways, here we go. Remember, you get 1 point for even guessing, and I'll be honest with you, Meandering Mike, I was thinking, just jokingly, but part of me was thinking, man, I should try to get the clues out quick because the answer is so easy, I think, that people need to like catch up to you. You're like so far ahead that I was thinking, okay, maybe I can try to get before you pop on, but it's not the case. I'm not giving you a handicap or anything, but I'm just saying that's the way it is. So I'll give you the first hint here. I'll pop it on the banners. So remember, it's who or what am I? So I'm trying to give you the hint there. Geez, this is going to be a tricky one because they're so easy. Okay, this one here. And like I said, I'll also pop it in the comments. So the first one is, hopefully you can see that. Yes, because I've actually got it on my StreamYard window. I've got it on super small mode. Because what I'm trying to do is I did a little bit of a preparation of looking at the graphics. Because when we start looking at, and I'm glad Meandering Mikey mentioned it about, I'm not saying you were being passive aggressive or whatever, with the comment of saying, you know, do what you need to do about pacing yourself and whatnot, but getting so much stuff done and making sure you do a half decent job. But afterwards, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just try to do what I can for the Africa thing. And it actually works out. I'm finding it's quite a compelling little narrative. Uh, the African, British, and French forces under General Dobell are going from Douala into the interior of the Cameroons. I just think is pretty neat. And if, just from reading up all on the stuff, I'm like, man, this would, at a certain scale, this just seems like a really interesting thing. Yet again, like kind of like the Legion War games with is it the Tanga? Yeah, the Tanga game there that Charles Latora was playing. It maybe has that type of scale, especially when I was reading reading up on some of the stuff, and they're talking about just the hell terrain to go through there and getting eaten alive by insects. And I was thinking about Charles Latora mentioning there the killer bees and stuff like that. So, anyways, yeah, here's the first thing, and I'll pop it in. Sorry, also in the comments, it's my sinking is one of the first examples of total war, killing civilians and neutral nationals too. I have to go and take a look at the comments. And boom, Charles Latora nails it, and holy smokes, man. Okay, I'm going to give you bonus points, Charles, due to the fact that you're half awake, and you need the points too, to be honest with you. But well done, man. This I was talking about with Zoe yesterday. Here's the freaky thing, guys, as we're going to get into the, and I was also mentioning this with Zoe. The sinking of the Lusitania happens tomorrow in 1915. What the hell? Remember, I just randomly picked these cards earlier in the week, and I just grabbed it and I went, whoa, this is freaky weird. And the other nice thing was, I'm actually going to show you the picture, so hold on, is the fact that in the History Heroes trivia, it doesn't just say the sinking of the Lusitania. In the card, it actually says the sinking of the Lusitania passengers and crew. And I was saying to Zoe, I thought that was an interesting thing, because I'm like everybody else. Well, I'm not saying like everybody else, but I'm like a lot of other people that I just go, oh, the sinking of the Lusitania. I mean, you just kind of, at least I just kind of, you know, just assume like that's included, you know, the passengers and whatever. So it was kind of nice to hear that. Hold on, I'll see if I can get to the History Heroes thing. Yeah, I didn't show the one last week there, the Alfred von Schlieffen. But here we go, and then I'm going to show this one. Hold on here. I should have done that, yeah, because that actually was a good, hold on here, that was a really good, no, we'll go to here. I'm just going to, it's so, no, present. There we go. It's just, I'm sorry, the StreamYard window is so dinky for me right now because I'm trying to, there. All right. So there's the cards. So there we could take a look at the rest of the stuff that it says. And that's why I popped in the submarine thing for World War I image of the day today. Oops. I want to see to make sure that you guys see everything. There we go. Oh, goody, you do. You see the whole full on here. Excellent. So there's a German U-boat torpedoed and sank me off the coast of Ireland on the 7th of May, 1915. I had 1,960 people on board. 1,198 passengers and crew died as a result of my sinking. I was one of the largest, fastest, and most luxurious British passenger ships of my time. I was carrying many Americans, women, and children, as well as British war supplies. My sinking helped turn neutral American public opinion against Germany, and my sinking is one of the first examples of total war, killing civilians and neutral nationals too. And the German embassy placed a newspaper ad in the USA warning people not to travel on me, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. Boink, and there we are here. Charles Latora says, thinking coffee is kicking in. Coffee, my best friend. Same here, man. There's three things that keep me alive, well, four things. Coffee, well, cream, because I use it. It's toast and peanut butter. Holy F, if those things disappeared, I'd be in a lot of trouble. Well, and oats. Yeah. What else? Okay, let's go to the. I want to go a little bit more about the news, specifically one bit for the National World War One Museum and Memorial. Not all of. I'm not saying the other ones are not as important, but here I'll pop it on here so you guys can see. And the reason being is it's for the 100th anniversary of the American monument thingamajig. And since it's obviously a bit, you know, you guys are American, most of you guys are Americans, I thought you'd be interested in finding out about it. So I just got to make sure that you guys see the whole full on. I want to, okay, you do. Okay, good. So that way I can do this here. So we'll go to here. There we go. And hopefully you can still see that. I want to make sure that you guys see this one, or you don't. Oh, excellent. All right. So this is what I wanted you guys to take a look at. The American Battle Monuments Commission, and I think it's next Friday. It's free. There you go. It's at 6 p.m. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, it's YouTube Live. There we go. Anyways, I thought maybe you guys would be interested in taking a look at that and see what goes on. Anyways, I'm going to let go of that. Is there anything else I wanted to show? Oh, yes. Thank goodness Zoe popped over, because I want you to see. I'm going to get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Let's see where you guys are. I want to see what you guys see. Aha! This is exactly what I wanted you guys to see. Hold on. What did... wow, I think I had heard about the Germans posting in the newspaper, but forgot about that. Yes, Meandering Mike. And Charles Latora says, same, Mike. Yeah, and I've... yeah, it's kind of wacky weird, eh, to be able to know about that. Okay, I want you guys to see this bit. Because when Zoe was over, and it's like, what the hell? Okay, you guys can't see it, right? I hope. Correct? Please? Yes. So this thing, it's right near my house. I think one of you got, well, some of you guys I know for a fact Meandering Mike saw it, because he commented on the video last year when I was dropping off my winter bike, and I walked around the Aviation Museum and did a little tour of the Ottawa River near my house. And you know, you can hear planes going over, and there's biplane tours over my house for decades, and I've never even clued in until yesterday. I'm hanging out with Zoe, and she's like, by the way, have you ever thought about taking a biplane tour and maybe putting it on your putting some of that as a segment on your live stream, the kind of thing like you did with the World War I Museum? And I was like, oh my God, that would make total sense. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see if we're going to show you the bit of the, it may kill my stream here. As in, there we go. I wanted you guys to see this bit, but I'm thinking, hey man, why not, I could film a bit, and if you look, and it looks like we can do 3 people. So I'd love to take Zoe with me. That would only be about $400 Canadian, so I'll obviously have to save up for a while. And because I'd certainly want to do the deluxe version, I want to get the whole, I would want to take the whole shot of Ottawa and the surrounding area, so that way we could get, you know, what in the world's going on. But I think that would be kind of cool. What do you guys think? Hopefully you guys would be interested in seeing that, you know, I don't know when, but I would certainly, and there, my God, that's my, right near my house. Holy F, as in that was there where I was walking with you guys in the video there a little while ago. So we'll leave it, I'm going to pop it on there and leave it there. And so, oh, sorry, if you remove this, oh, shoot, sorry, Meandering Mike, I'll get rid of it. Darn it, let's go back. I'll go right back to it. Sorry, darn it. I'll go right back to, because you say if you remove the screen banner, we can see a little more of the web page. Okay, I'll go right back to it so you can see, because that sucks. Hold on. I'm going to go to, I just, where would I go to? I think I put it in my Ottawa. Charles Latora says, only if I get a parachute. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I wonder what they would do. They probably don't. I did actually skydive once. I don't know if you guys did. Meandering Mike says, no problem. Yeah, it was interesting. I had a fun time doing it, but it was, what did they say? Yeah, I had to be the last one in because I'm the first one out. They said if you're the, one of the first people on the plane or something. So there we go. Hopefully you guys can see that, and I'll hide this. There, we can see it a little bit more. I hope I'm going to take a look to make sure that you guys can see it. Yep. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I think that would be kind of really, I just, like I said, it's so weird to think, I mean, these things fly by me over my head. It's just every day, oft, you know, multiple times. And it's never, I mean, even my neighbors, for goodness sakes, have said, oh yeah, I've, you know, went on the little ride, and one of my colleagues, Claude, went on them. I'm not sure if he went on this one, but I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, there we go. Hold on. So we're back to here, and you're just seeing me. I've got my glasses, and now let's go to, we'll just quickly talk about the week that was. I didn't do, sorry guys, I did not do a situational map stuff. I was thinking about it, and then I just it went off in my head. So I'll try to think of. Okay, here's some biggies. I did put a link in for the Pershing lecture series for Scott Stevenson in the description for the live stream. I've mentioned this before. I watched it way back when. Hold on, what did it say? Meandering Mike, Mrs. Meandering and I did a mini helicopter ride over Seattle way back when, but I've not flown in a biplane. Holy F. Oh my God. Helicopters. What a, yeah, I would love to, my God, to go over Seattle. That would have been totally cool. You guys got that, don't you guys also have that sci-fi museum or something there? Which I thought would be totally cool. I don't know, have you guys gone to it? That would be, I'd love to have gone to that thing. That was it talking about here. Meandering Mike says the live stream screen only shows a tiny rectangle upper left. What? There. Sorry, man. Jeepers jumping. Thanks for mentioning Meandering Mike. It's because I'm not, like I said, I've got the little thing super ultra shrunken down. Oh yes, it was about the Scott Stevens. Scott. Hey, Dirk D. He mentions, says, hi guys. Great to see you, Dirk D. So about the week that was. So I did put the Scott Stevenson Pershing Lecture Series link in my live stream description. I watched it a long time ago when I was getting ready to play the Gorlitz Tarnif breakthrough scenario with Ken 10 or Ken X. Charles Latora says I did a helicopter tour over the desert dam near Vegas. Whoa, that would be totally cool. I've never been to the desert, man. I would love to go someday. Anyway, so he is an amazing lecturer. He also did one, I know I've watched another one that he did, Germany on the home front, which is fantastic. He's also at the very end of the Gorlitz Tarnif breakthrough lecture for him. He has suggested reading, so you can just zip on to the end if you want to. But so that started in May 1st, and from what I've been reading, Charles Latora says, morning, Dirk D. And from what I've been reading, if you look at it and convert this into Der Weltkrieg hex terms, it's shocking. And time-wise, it to me is shocking. I just think about this. I mean, this happened in real life, but I'm thinking if you're playing this in a game, the commentary that would be happening between players. So May 1st to about now, the Germans and Austrians have I've really started from what I've been reading and know or whatever, the Gorlitz Tarnif breakthrough. It is so dramatic. They've taken back Gorlitz, they've taken back Tarnif, they've driven out all the Russians way off the Carpathians. It would be several hexes, like I think something like 3 or 4 hexes, maybe even more, in 2 turns, in Der Weltkrieg terms. That is just mind-boggling. It blows me away. Dirk D says, cold night here. Yes, yes. Of course, yeah, you're getting into the winter now. That just blows me away. I'm I'm of the camp right now, from the little I know, that I think the impact, even I know the Brusilov offensive is going to happen next year and so on and so forth, and it's going to make Russia look fantastic and blah blah blah. Personally, right now, think that the impact of the Gorlitsa-Tarnów breakthrough offensive, which like I said, other people call the Great Retreat. For me, that is the final crack, or the big final whatever's. William Arends says, hello from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Super nice to see you, man. I do believe this is the beginning of the end for, I think this is going to really, this is where it's almost no turning back for the Russian Civil War. From what, that's just me. That's where I'm going with things. What else did I want to mention that happened this week before we go off into Africa proper? So Gallipoli, as you know, is happening big time right now. It's been over a week it's been going on. I think there's been, what did they call it? Like I said, I didn't look up the maps, but there was all kinds of like a little counter-offensives or whatever along that areas with the Ottomans. It didn't make it so well, but as I know, things are just, well, as you know, a living nightmare there. Charles Latora says, desert is beautiful, hot in the day, cold. Yes, I've heard this. Nothing more glorious than sitting in the dark and cold with coffee waiting for the sun. That's exactly it. I would, that's one of the things I was doing before the live stream, just sitting out there. And I was like, gosh, I was actually starting to get a little too mellow. I was like, gosh, maybe that's not such a good level to be at with the live stream. And Charles Latora says, morning, William. So there's been some massive gains by the Union forces up in German South Africa. They're, from what I was looking up in the map, they're like past, well, they're way up there. So that's there. The siege around Van is still occurring there. I think the Russians are trying to help bring in support for the Armenians. Not like I said, this is just cloudy stuff that I know. Please go and look up more if you want to find out. Obviously, don't use me as gospel. The second battle of Ypres is starting to wind down, from what I know. You know what I found was interesting? Well, I was I reading or listening? William Merritt says, "Good morning, Charles." Darn it, I wasn't sure if it was from the Great War Channel or if it, or where the hell was I reading it from? Maybe it was his lecture. I can't remember, but I was shocked to hear that gas was used at the very beginning of the Gorlitsa-Tarnów breakthrough with Mackinson and whatnot. I'll have to take a look at the Weltkrieg rules. I don't remember seeing gas mentioned in the thing, but remember, I was just barely starting with Ken X, and he knew more than I did about it. There was another piece of news I forgot to mention. The 35th anniversary sale for Decision Games is on right now for some box stuff. And 2 of the modules for Der Weltkrieg are available at 35% off, which is pretty significant. I think it's the Italian front and Osmanli Harbi, as far as I know. And from what I know, those are kind of in reverse order of my second and third picks. If I was going to go, just from what I know right now, I'd go Eastern Front, Osmanli Harbi, Italian Front, Western Front. That's the way I would go in my universe. Just because, but I don't think I'd start with Osmanli Harbi just due to the fact there's so many crazy rules. I'd be like, what the hell's going on? I just want something simple. Like, start me off slow, please. So the Battle of Ypres is, I guess, grinding to a halt. But the British have been falling back. They will still keep Ypres, but part of that salient has been dented. So it did work, I guess, if you want to call it that, in some ways, that the Germans got to practice with gas, the chlorine gas, and they did get to, push them. And also, surprise, surprise, it really did seem to work with the Gorlitza Tarnów breakthrough because of these massive gains so quick. I think we were talking about it a few weeks ago with those attacks way up north, and also, the attack of Bolimov, which was a few months ago, and so on and so forth, around southwest Poland and up around there. I think we were mentioning that possibly those were probably diversions, and guess what? This seems to be the case due to the fact I can't remember his name, Rodinsky, Radimir. Oh, shoot, I've got him. Rus? No, it's not Ruski, I don't think. But anyways, he's an Austrian, Russian commander. Sorry, that didn't heed the warnings, and lots of bad. Well, as we know, lots of bad stuff happened. Okay, let's go to the Africa stuff, and I'd still like to talk about the naval component, and that's going to be a two-parter. So is this two-parter with the CEF moving inland. The reason it's so weird to think that last week when John Longshore mentioned the naval component to Weltkrieg, and like I was saying, I thought it was just like everybody else from what I've been reading. There's not much to it. There's not much to the naval component to Weltkrieg. There's tons. However, from what I'm going to show you, I don't know when we get to that point if you guys are going to go, boy, at least from what I was looking at, I'm like, seems like an awful lot of effort for not much gain. Especially when at one point I was like, what? I'm like, all this effort to move 1 to 2 strength points or something like that over, and they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, they're halved when they get when they attack on the first round. I was like, Jesus, or it was 4 or something down to 2. I was like, well, what's the Jesus Murphy? I'm like, that's a lot of work for nothing. Okay, but anyways, I also want to try out this map thing with the little arrows. So I was noticing last week, basically the only videos I watch of my channel are the live streams. I just want to make sure that things kind of look good, and I want to improve for you guys. And I noticed that last week when I was babbling on about part of the Africa map and so on and so forth, my little arrows weren't showing because I wasn't using the windows properly. So I'm hoping this will, that's why I was having issues. Ironically, here I am trying to fix one problem and starting another one, like with Meandering Mike mentioning, hey, can you get rid of the banner or whatever and that stuff? But I couldn't see that. Or, hey, you're a dinky little window. I can't see anything else. You know, that type of stuff. So anyways, I'll do a quickie recap. So I'm going to show you present the map, and I'm going to vanish. I hope. Let's top screen. You're there. Okay, good. I'm going to present. Share screen. A window. There. There. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to go back to my thing quickly just to make sure, because I want to see just the map there. And you guys can see my little arrow, and I can see the comments. Fan-freaking-tastic, which is exactly what I wanted. Awesome. All right. So just a quickie recap before going towards part 1 of the Africa thing here, the Great War in Africa. So by mid-ish to late September, the African, British, and French forces under General Dobell managed to take Douala after the Germans had raised the white flag and had destroyed their wireless communication base here and surrendered. But they retreated nicely up here in 3 directions, up on this rail line, up the Wuri River here and along to here. And when they got to Yapoma, they didn't completely knock out the rail bridge, but they made it inoperable and then entrenched themselves along the bank here on this side of the Debamba River. Dobell decided, he got some forces here at Piti and decided to try and get some forces around behind the Germans here and see if he could cut off the rail here and get them from here. They tried several times. It didn't work. And that's why I was mentioning about, they were saying it was just an absolute hellhole of, well, they were saying, okay, on top of being shot at left, right, and flip and center, trying to like lug field guns and going through muck and mangrove swamps and then into a forest and getting eaten alive by mosquitoes in a super hot, humid environment. By the time you got to anywhere, you weren't really, obviously really gung-ho to be in combat, whatever. Didn't work. There was also two other areas. I couldn't find the other spot. It was some plantation near a lake, but I couldn't find it around here. I'll show you the other map later on. It'll be a bit more in context. It's from the inset. But anyways, there were some Germans over here in this area in Tico, and I'm assuming somewhere around here. There were some. They were also holed up in a plantation. Anyways, both these expeditions were successful in driving out the Germans. Significantly so. Meandering Mike says, but phew, at least no bees. Yeah, no kidding. That's yeah, you're right. That's what I was thinking about when I was mentioning about yet again, Bo. This would be a kind of an interesting, to me, just some partially operational as well. I just think this would be an interesting game scenario. I'd like to see played out. Someone do it, not me, but I'd like to try it out. They were able to, I think they killed the commander here. They took a lot of prisoners up around the plantation, were able to take some provisions, whatnot. And so they were there. Dobell still obviously said, okay, we still now have to really deal with this. Oh yeah, they were also able to take here Bonneberry. So everything was, and they were also able to navigate somewhat up here, quite a distance. That's why we're going to go into the inset, and I'll show you later. Where they were, how far up they were able to get to. But Dobell realized, from what I've been reading, that in order to, and now we'll maybe get to the next map. Well, no, we're going to stop here because then we'll get to the next one. So he realized, okay, we've got to maybe do a direct assault. And they did in the early October, and primarily this was due to some Senegalese troops who managed to actually get across that inoperable rail bridge, drive the Germans off through heavy casualties and whatnot. So as far as I'm concerned, from what I've been reading, those guys are the ones that deserve the credit. So they were able to take Yapoma. Now we'll get to the next map. I hope. So there it is. So there's the inset. Don't worry, I'll get it much bigger in a minute. But I wanted to show you kind of where, here it is. This little spot. And please let me know if you can't see, because I can't see what you guys can see anymore, because I'm only looking at the comments. I've got the graphic window just big enough. But anyway, so we're going to expand on this using this beautiful iFran View software. Charles Latora says, we're soldiers versus critters. Japanese unit retreating through river swamp became buffet for crocs. Oh, God almighty. I remember reading some passages of just the horrible things of sailors and whatnot down in the Caribbean and so on and so forth. Just like Jesus Murphy. Anyway, so there we go. So there's Douala. There's Pity, which they were able to take, and there's Yapona with the rail bridge, which they were eventually able to nail. But Dobell at this point, and there's Tico, and they were able not to get all the way up to Yabasi, but they were like quite up here. I'm not sure how far up here, but here you can start seeing. So you can remember 1 hex is equal to, in the Weltkrieg terms, is 20 kilometers. So you can see this is what, about from Douala to Adia, it's about 3 hexes, would you say? What do you think? 2, yeah, but maybe 3 hexes? Something like that. Anyways, so the Germans are the 2 main positions now that the Germans are in Yabasi and Adia. And as you can see here, this nice little river towards this area. So this is a pretty darn important spot. And it obviously must be important. I don't know yet, but I mean, if it says to Asika, it must be pretty darn important if he's got it in the map written there. So Dobell realized that if they're going to do some sustained long campaign, and the center of operations is going to be Douala, this has got to be properly secured. And they had to make sure that they got to get rid of these Germans from here and here. He decided to go up the Wuri River first and nail Yabasi. due to the fact that I think one of the reasons was that he found it would be easier to get to. Perhaps that doesn't mean it was going to be easier to take, just easier to get to. It just finished the rainy season, which is almost like I guess like a funny thing to say because it's this area is one of the rainiest spots on the planet. This river was easily navigable right now, and to be able to send lots of troops up and down. So I guess this was a great spot. And that's it. We're going to leave it at that. Charles Latora says, should be using my laptop instead of phone. Sorry, Charles. Hopefully this will at some point get a little bit better. Or I'll try to, I don't know if I can make it better. But you're right. Maybe you have to just go to the laptop. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit. And now we're going to get to talk about part one, I guess, of the naval component stuff. So I'm going to try. There we go. We're going to go to this bit because it's going to be important. Actually, no. We're going to go to... Hold on. We're going to keep it there, but I'm going to go to this, okay? Then I want to go to there. Am I missing things? Let's see. No, I mentioned the Decision Games 35th anniversary sale. We haven't taken a look at the Atlas map yet. Okay. I did want to talk. Okay. Well, that'll be the end of the stuff at the whatever. But I wanted to show you this bit, and then we'll go to the. So I'm going to stop the screen. So there we go. Hello, people. And then we're going to go back to present screen, share the screen, and hopefully this works. Boink. And I'm going to hide it. And I'm just going to make sure that you guys can see it. Goody. All right, so there you go on the right-hand side there. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is part of the, we're at the Decision Games website, the e-rules download area, just looking at the PDF from here. And this is from the Osmanli Harbi rules. And there it is, the very beginning. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, whatever, but I'm just showing you. This is at the beginning where they start mentioning maritime operations, and there's basically two things in it. There's the naval gunfire support, and I'll talk about it from what I know about it. And then there's the amphibious assaults right there, as you can see. And there's also, hopefully I'm not going to make you too sick, and it's also the Gallipoli thing. This is what freaked me out, because when like I said, I thought the Grand Campaign was much, much later or what have you. In the rule systems, I don't understand, I obviously don't understand properly the whole evolution of how these rules came about or whatever, but I'm trying to, I don't want to go too quickly for you guys, so you don't go, oh my God. You can see what I mean. This is really interesting. All these things to find out about, but I don't know if this would be the first module I'd want to pick up and start making pontoon bridges and what the heck's going on here. Where are you, Gallipoli? Come on. I just don't want to go too quick. Did I miss it? Did I go right by it? I thought, because we're going way off into like, what the hell's going on here, guys? Ah, there we are. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I check the comments. Hold on. Charles Latora, Meandering Mike says, Ottoman, 3 strength point naval transport per month. Not very much. I know, Meandering Mike. And wait until you see all the rigmarole you have to do and the restrictions. So I'm thinking, what is, and as you know, with the anemic CRT, what in the world is going on? This is what I found interesting here, is where it says, where is it? It gets into, aha, here are condensed amphibious landing rules from the Grand Campaign game. And I went, what in the world is going on? So I'm gonna kill this, because we don't need it. But we're gonna go to here. I'm gonna make sure that you guys can see this bit. Yes, excellent. So we're gonna go to the images. And I just wanted to take a look at some of the counters, so we can see some of the interesting So there's some naval ones. We're going to take a look at what the, like, there's the Flotilla 3R. I guess that must be 3 strength points and only on a river. So I don't know what the movement rates are. And then there's these, I thought I did see something about, maybe it's on another sheet. There was some kind of weird, yeah, here, hold on, let's see if we can go to another sheet. It's this one. Yes, I think so. Aha! All these weird, well, maybe not that one. I thought there was, there's naval. I thought there were, I could have sworn there were some counters that I did notice. But anyways, we'll go to, go and take a look at my notes, but I'll take a, I want you to take a look at, here, I'm going to stop the screen and then I'm going to present the window, or the part of the, there we go. All right. And you guys can see that. I'm just going to make sure that you guys see what you guys can see. Okay. Good. So here's, yeah, because you're going to see why I wanted to bring this up in a minute. And I'll start taking a quick look at my notes because I still don't know too much about the whole naval component here. And I just find it an awful lot of work for it. Doesn't seem to be a heck of a lot of stuff here. So it says, I'm going to just quickly go through my notes, and please let me know if you guys think that this is boring. Actually, you know what? I can put my little rinky-dink face on here because, there we go. You don't need to see this bit, so that's kind of cool. There we go. Says section 4.6, it talks about Ottoman sea transport. Yeah, begins in May 1915, and like Meandering Mike mentions, a total of 3 strength points and or supply points can be transferred between any 2 Ottoman-controlled ports. Starting in February, the Russian player can conduct naval sorties, and they can do a total of 3 naval sorties per month. But as far as I know, they can't do like 3 naval. Well, there's this happening. It happens during the new a new part of the monthly special turn, and it's called the naval activity phase. And you have to roll to see if it can be used. And there's limited attempts per month. It adds 4 strength points to your existing attack, alone or like as an artillery thing. But here's the kicker. You can only use it along coastal hexes in the Black Sea. So here's the first bit along here. I can't, yeah, it says it can only be used along Black Sea coastal, I mean, okay, I understand it's 20 kilometers in, but it's a lot of, I just find, what else here? Amphibious assaults. There's the other thing here. We'll go to another bit of the map. Some other maps. So you can see there's not a heck of a lot there. It's not like there's like, I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed, I mean, here's the other one. Okay, here's the biggie, I guess. That to me is like, okay, that's where I guess you would put all your eggs in one your naval basket or whatever kind of thing. But for the amphibious assaults, it says here, there's Army-only amphibious assaults and combined operations with a naval sortie. And you have to start in a Russian-controlled port, obviously, and you need a supply point from the nearest headquarters to that debarkation port. And listen to this, for an Army-only assault, 1 to 2 infantry strength points can be used and have to land on a Black Sea coastal hex within 4 hexes of a friendly unit. And they cannot land in an, well, of course, cannot land in an Ottoman-controlled port and all that stuff, like a zone of control and everything. But I'm like, holy smokes, that's so I've just given up a supply point to pop over 1 to 2 strength points somewhere. Jesus, Murphy. And then it says they attack at 1/2 strength when they land and cannot move. If they cannot trace a line of communication by the end of the turn, they're also destroyed. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, Lord have mercy, man. And then combined operations is warships providing naval gunfire support for the amphibious assault and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go in through the whole 9 yards here because, oh my God, we're already into 9:45. I'd still like to do a bit of, I'd still like to do Calandale, and we have time. He's only 16 minutes long. What else I'll just write here. It says, yeah, interesting following passing. I read that bit. There's a thing called later on with the Gallipoli stuff, mentions amphibious lift capacity, and these things can be affected through reinforcement, use, or withdrawal. The player can convert the amphibious lift capacity into amphibious transport points. Holy F. Part of me is just like, man, this is a lot of work for not much gain. But I would like to see this. There's an evacuation segment on pages 26 to 30. Sections 26 to 30 on page 21 in the Osmanli Harbi thing that I'd like to take a look at. So that's it, guys. I'm going to get rid of me and pop me back into here. So there you are. I'll go on to the Calandale thing, but I'd love to... It's just weird. I'm not saying it's weird. I just find, yet again, I'm wondering if this Der Weltkrieg thing is just a fascinating little, I don't know, Jekyll Hyde thing of 1 minute you're a much lower scale, and then you pop back up, and not sure if it works. So I just find it clunky. But like I said, I've only been looked at the naval rules for a week, and I haven't even played them. So maybe I should shut up about saying they're clunky. For me, I'm like, boy, that seems like an awful lot of whatevers. Okay, let's go to the Calandale thing. Fire say no. Okay, hold on here. I'm gonna pop them on, and I've got to remind myself to mute myself. And what are we into? He said 1917 now, didn't he? That's kind of neat. All right, so is that the live stream? Is that what I do? Yes, excellent. Okay, make sure I pop you in here. Present, share screen. And you see me, I hope. I just gotta make sure that. All right, and I'm gonna get rid of me. There we go, and I'm gonna mute me.
Right now, sometime in January, they're going to launch an attack. So as we push into January of 1917, some things changed a little bit. The only real change that I can think of offhand is the Germans no longer have the same supply limitation. They don't have to attack anymore, essentially. Eventually they may have to, but their limit is now no longer 200, but 400 supply points. Now, Great Britain's is going to go up as well to 200, but they've not had that issue. They've been worried more about their manpower accumulating too much and have actually thrown quite a bit of away. France is still at their 150. It's not until 1918 that they go up to 275, which allows you to really assemble huge amounts of supply to launch a continuing sustained attack. The 400 is especially tremendous. But more importantly, perhaps, it means I don't have to fight. Now, the French may wish to, in fact, they have a desire to, and a requirement to. They're at 150 right now. They're at their limit, which means sometime in January they're going to launch an attack. It may be a fairly, a several-day affair. The Germans aren't withdrawing any more troops during this month, it looks like. They're just gaining troops. Yet, no real opportunity is available right now, but I think the French should probably launch an attack shortly based on that factor. And the English should probably launch their attack, perhaps in conjunction or at least in some sort of coordination to take advantage of it. They have to do one anyway just to kill off more of their troops so that they can get more replacements again. So one of the problems is the French are getting, serious about launching an attack. They start building up forces in the general area so that they can move into the attack. Well, that telegraphs the move. Last turn, it wasn't obvious enough. But now they've shifted up, and the Germans had a couple of reinforcements, so they dropped reinforcements into the salient that the French were obviously building up for an attack for. There's no easy surprise with the French. In fact, the English don't have a terribly easy chance at it either, but some of their units have a movement allowance of 5, as do most of the German units. The Germans have this tremendous advantage. They can rail troops right up to the front, jump off, jump into the front, and attack immediately. So you never know where the Germans can hit. But they don't really get to attack much at this point in the game. Or they don't necessarily desire to. So the French are going to have to launch an attack, but they don't necessarily want to attack where they just landed. They're going to look for an opportunity, we'll see. Well, the French felt forced to find a new place because they cannot build up a reserve like they had without alerting the Germans. And they found one. There were only 11 strength points here next to Luxembourg. Not necessarily the best location in the world. The terrain gives an additional penalty. But they did 8 hits to 5 by massing what they had in that salient and sliding things over a little bit. One of the bigger problems they had to do was they had to shift one of their headquarters over to command this. Because it's winter, there's only a 3 movement point chain, but they can get there from that. They may have difficulty reaching much further. This is not an attack that was going to succeed in making some great breakthrough because their supply net is really kind of at its limit at this point. They can keep moving the headquarters or moving new headquarters into place to bring additional support in, but it would be tough to make a breakthrough, say, into this kind of region up here. But this was the best they could find without giving too much alert, and it still didn't do anything, and now the Germans have the opportunity to fill in the gap here. Is there a guarantee that this is where the fight is? No, there isn't. There's still a significant force down in this salient up here, and there's quite a bit built up over here. And as we've very often seen throughout the game, when you attract attention to one segment of the front, defenses go into that, it may no longer be the best place to hit. And, well, a shift to this hex was made. Not good attack. The French took 7 to the Germans 9. There's better defensive terrain. There's a woods in here, but also the die rolls came out poorly. But, essentially shifting the entire attack to a nearby front, a segment of the front, usually isn't hard because you've got a lot of forces kind of milling around, ready to pump into that other area that you can just slam into something near it. When you have a salient like this where you're bulging out, you can just redirect your attack without any real difficulty. That feels a little false to me. That was done late in the war, more by the Germans than anyone else, I believe. But it was done when there was almost a capability to attack all along the front when desired. So it doesn't feel like the momentum of those attacks works out quite the same way. The Germans have the ability to be flexible enough to shift their troops. Now maybe if you evened everything out it wouldn't matter. The French could still, there would be no reason for an attack not to be on that one hex that was chosen anyhow. But there's a little bit of clumsiness to how much you can move around. So you can't spread out completely, and you end up with some weak spots. It's just a matter of human nature to make those kind of errors, not to proportionally allocate everything exactly right or whatever. Some damn Germans that I forgot to move into place for replacement points. I'm having a lot of trouble playing this, to tell you the truth, at this point. Alright. Okay, so the French have given up on their assault. They've spent enough supply on it that they can stop a week. You know, these 2-month offensives or whatever, they're not going to happen in the early part of the war. A week attack? Yeah, that happens. And then another one a little later, and another one a little later. None of the grand offensives are going to happen. And the supplies just aren't sufficient to maintain them even. You could go maybe a month. And that's, I believe, historical. But what it means is, if you don't desire to do them, an offensive, you don't have to. And the game kind of forces you to do offensives, kind of against your will. So now the Brits are having to do one, and they're going to launch one along here, but I've opened up with an attack from this hex, and now I'm going to pull a tank in as well, which I'll try to get into the stack there. But I got to roll. On a 1 or a 2, it loses a strength point. Ooh. And then what the tank's going to do, and it does not, what the tank's going to do is it's going to count, in addition to losses, for forcing the Germans to retreat. Of course, I think it has to take casualties early or something. I have no idea. I have to take a look at that. They may advance. I don't know if there's any further. They take losses in addition to the normal losses counted for the counterattack. And I'll have to read that up and see how that works. I have explained it before when I explained the rules, but I haven't used one. The tank losses are dependent on 3 CRT attack, counterattack, number of attacking units, and number of attacking divisions. Number of battalions divided by number of attacking divisions. Yeah, okay, whatever. So they're going to have some additional number of losses here. Let's see, number of attacking battalions. Now I have to remember my brigades and battalions thing here. And X is the bigger kind, right? Yeah, I have trouble with this. I'm not, a modern type of guy. So I always have trouble remembering these. So let's see, battalions are the little guys. So that's going to count as what, 3? Yeah, 3 battalions because it's a brigade. So what happens? I don't know. They're divided by the number of attacking divisions multiplied by the CRT counterattack loss. I don't understand that. Like, I'm going to have to try to parse that. Number of attacking tank battalions, that'll be 3, divided by number of attacking divisions. Well, that's like 18. So 3 divided by 18 is 0.167 approximately. And that'll be multiplied by the total losses. So there's going to be some additional slight loss of tanks. I don't know if they count towards demoralization. I have to look that up. I doubt that it's specified anywhere, so probably the strength points just count. But yeah, I have no idea. So of course, in order to find the answer to that, we flip through the scenario book again. But here it kind of makes sense. In terms of tanks, it shouldn't. I should never have to leave a couple of pages on this. But no, there's buried rules, Hindenburg line, stuff like that, that's definitely scenario-based. But then there's also things like tanks that should be in so many different game modules of this thing. But yeah, I gotta flip through here and find myself this thing and see whether or not tanks cost any demoralization points. And it looks like they're free. So, tanks don't cost. Cool. You can lose them at 5. Alright. right now what I've got for damage factors is 118 to 58. The Allies have 118. Now the Brits would have a lot more, but they had no supplies left. They had 1 point of supply to spend after the artillery attack. Well, after the initial attack in the artillery. They supplied this first mobile attack because it would be pointless unsupplied. It would do almost nothing. But now with the tanks thrown in, that's 8 extra strength points that don't cost any supply as far as I can tell. I'm not sure. Because, you know what, I gotta look up supplies, but it won't be in there because only infantry and artillery and cavalry are handled in there. You'd think tanks would use supplies, so let's go back to the tanks rules and see what the hell they say. And they are somewhere in here, who knows where. Here they are, 104. The numbers are all weird in here because it's some sort of cut and paste job from the original Schlieffen plan rules or something. I don't know. These only go up to 85, but then we've got little bits stuck in here and there to fit. These go up to 48 and then jump to 85, and then we got other numbers here, and it is really a poorly put together rule set in terms of a lot of things that make rules easier to cope with, right? Okay, so then I'm going to spend 15 minutes trying to figure out tanks, and I'll probably get it right the first time, and then not wanting to ever do it again, get it wrong every other time because I don't want to look it up. That's what happened to me with, goddamn, I don't even remember what the hell it was, but there was something in this game, the artillery surrounding or something like that, something along those lines. Oh no, urbans, what their modifiers were, that I just, you know, this game puts you in such a mood to not put any effort because you're putting so much damn effort into shifting units around, trying to figure out what comes in when, that you don't want to think about it, you don't want to play it, you don't want to do a damn thing with it. So anyway, my supply numbers were a little wrong because, yeah, you do have to supply the tanks like regular units, which means they ate up 2 supply. I used the infantry supply, that's 3.5 strength points, rounded up to 4 that had to come off. And then I had to use an artillery supply, which I think was 2 strength points, but I can't tell anymore. All right. And you can see how pleasing it is to play this thing. So we're at 120 to 58, I think, and I get to roll some dice. Modifiers all the same, nothing changes there. The only thing that changes is there's 8 additional losses counted, I guess, against the defender in terms of just determining retreat. If I can go over that now, weakened stack, weakened because of the first attack, I can get a breakthrough. And not a real breakthrough because the line will just get shoved back to here. It's not like the Brits can follow up with a lack of supply here. So in the end it was ineffective. The .167 was multiplied by 10 losses. So it ended up killing 2 tank units here, in addition to 10 units of Brits in exchange for 7 Germans. Now, the 7 Germans went up to 15 Germans, but still, because of the tanks there, that was 8 extra strength points, but still, we had just a little bit more left over. So it didn't break. The Brits got bad die rolls. They would have gotten the hex on reasonable die rolls. But, and I'm lucky on that because I didn't calculate that out, I just kind of shot from the hip because, you know, again, like I said, when you're spending so much effort on mechanically trying to handle crap in a game, and it just continues that way, and look things up and everything, and page through books that are poorly organized, you know, how much time do you have for strategy? How much time do you have to really be thinking about the game and playing? In my case, none. I spend all my time trying to shuffle troops and screwing up there too because, you know, I haven't done anything with my French yet. They've got to go. They should have gone already, but I cannot segment my brain enough and then come back and remember what the hell I was doing. So I end up kind of instead segmenting the board and cheating to move things. And, you know, this is one reason I don't like playing opposed is I can't do that. I have to play the entire board at once, just like anybody else would with the game. I've got to play by the rules. I don't like to play by the rules. I like to fudge things, make it a little easier on myself. Well, that puts us to the end of January. Some shifting of troops. We still got those tanks on the top up here. I can't do anything with them because moving them, they might get damaged. And you know, I don't want to move them, even though they're cluttering up my view of the board, because that would be a bad move. But yeah, they make things less palatable than they were. Overall, I don't know. I mean, I was a hair's breadth away from quitting, and I probably should for my own sanity. You know, I could start something fun tomorrow. But something in me doesn't allow it, and, well, I'm going to have to reposition these engineers. They're not where I want them. If I could build this entire line, it would be great, but I want to build this hex, and I think this hex. And I think that means I only have like 3 hexes left, which I don't know if that's going to be these 3, which seems more appealing or whatever. Anyway, I'm loading this up, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm about halfway through at this point, and I'm all out of patience with this game. Alright, up it goes.
And there we are. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what happened with the volume, because that's kind of weird. Because before I used to be able to mute myself and you guys would just hear the Microsoft Edge, like the YouTube stream. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. It's not too bad. We're only 5 minutes or 6 minutes past whatever. That's not bad. So what are you guys up to for the remainder of the day? I know what I'm going to do a little bit of. It's super duper nice weather, so I really do need to, like Charles Latora was kind of looking at, I guess we're going to have you guys are going to have a painting challenge. Maybe Charles Latora and I are going to have a wild backyard challenge and see who can get it worse. Trust me, I'll win that one. We'll see if I'll have to make it the most nicest looking. That will be a challenge. Tomorrow, supposedly Rob's popping over, and he said he's open to playing any game, which is great because 13 days to can games, and well, it'll be 12 tomorrow. And Meandering Mike says more Tannenberg and then watch the War Room. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. That live stream. Do you know if 9 o'clock, if the Not J one's on as well? Oh boy, it's gonna be nice, Meandering Mike, when you pop up some of the videos there for the introductory module for Tannenberg. It's gonna be neat to see what you think about it. And it was kind of neat to find out about Charles Latora mentioning that he's kind of starting to enjoy the African campaign now. Dirk D says, I'm trying to learn playing Banish the Snakes, but it's too Euro trash for my liking. Looks great though. It does. It looks beautiful. Holy smokes! And I think I mentioned it to you, Dirk D, that Meandering Mike did an unboxing in the whole 9 yards. Charles Latora says looks like some sun. I guess maybe at your spot. Yeah, you said those poses, man, for some of your orcs, Charles. I can't wait to see them actually, like not just primed or whatever. You've got them white primed. Yeah, I want to see them colored so that we can get some more definition. Same as, yeah, Rob's coming over tomorrow, so I was like, okay, wait a minute. If he's open to playing any game, I obviously have to. I might as well take advantage of it and get him to try out at the bare minimum. It doesn't mean we have to play the whole bloody thing, but play the Tannenberg with a U, the Spence and Gable game, so I can get a good run through talking it out with a human being about, like, okay, this is how the rules work, or so on and so forth, as well as somebody going, okay, what does this mean or that mean, or so on and so forth. That'd be kind of nice. I did also mention about the ESMS software thing. I know I've got that still sitting up in an old laptop upstairs. I don't know if I have my whole league structure thing. It doesn't matter. But I do know I have a lot of the pieces of software where you can really just start screwing around with it quite a bit. Meandering Mike says we should call S&G game. Oh my God, eh? It's just someday. I'm like, what happened? Charles Latora says finish one way or another African campaign against. Again, it's the CRT. This is another thing I'm interested to find out about when Meandering Mike gets, I'm not saying gets his act together and gets it done. He's doing 4 trillion more things than I do. about when he gets to the Spence and Gable Tannenberg game and plays that through. I want to see does that CRT work for that game? I'm really quite interested in seeing that. Charles Latora says the CRT is bloody. Yeah, you've mentioned that before. Oh, I do want to show you one thing before I'm going to zip off whatever. But like I said, I'm really happy that my Rob was interested in trying out any game. So I'm like, okay, let's play the Tannenberg game. But I did also, Zoe noticed it yesterday, and it's true, and Meandering Mike was mentioning that as well. My map is big, the map that I made for the Tannenberg game, because of the counters. So that could be an issue for me going forward. I did try to be a bit strategic with placing the game on the Sunday morning when it's a desert basically at Can Games that time. So maybe I can steal an extra table. But maybe I should start making some smaller counters for the smaller board. Another thing I do still want to take a look at, and it's getting a bit more into my head because I was reading up on some more stuff about about the actual proper fire and movement system for World War II. It was neat to see. There's Meandering Mike says, big is good as long as it fits on the table. That's it. It is. I know. And that was the thing too, Meandering Mike. I was like, I really want to use these counters because it's so convention friendly. That's the way I'm looking at it. They're big, they're chunky, like, kids, old, anybody can just screw around with them. You can read them a freaking mile away. You don't need your glasses, that type of stuff. I just thought it would be kind of nice. And, they fall. They're probably a heck of a lot easier to find, that type of stuff. But I do want to work on that ESMS thing. I can see something working with that. I'm not saying doing it all times, but it would be nice to use that type of narrative software. Now think about it, guys. Well, I'll show it to you later on. You guys, I've sent you the link in one of those little videos. But and you can see what I mean if you look at it from look at it. Obviously, they'll only have soccer commentary and whatever. But look at it from convert that into, like I said, don't go the defender. Think of other things. Look at the ability at the sync. Like they have like tackle, pass, shooting, aggression, age, that type of stuff. Don't look at it that way. You don't even have to use all those variables. You could just keep each person as threes all along. What I'm saying is the software, you can play with the variables and you can make it, as far as I'm concerned, and that's what I'm going to do. Charles Latora says, trying to decide what game off my list to play next. That would be interesting. I got to take a look at your whatevers again. Yeah, you've just been firing them off like there's no tomorrow, man. What I'm saying is that that type of software with that commentary could be an interesting little add-on for doing little side battles or whatever, for little off fronts or whatever, and going, okay, you're going to put in this many supply points and so on and so forth, and away you go with basically, like I said, a broad front strategy. If you wanted to do that, how would I convert that into numbers using that software? It's exciting. I could see that in my, I'm just like, yeah, let's go with this. I just would like to give it one heck of a shot. Like I said, I've used it for years, so I know how to fiddle with it. And it's you don't need programming experience or any of that stuff. It's all script based, for Christ's sakes. You can just use a notepad and away you go. What else is there? Not much else really, I don't think. Like I said, I want to take a look at that. Well, for next week, because that'll be it, because the week after that is Can Games, and I don't know what I'm going to do with, I'm going to do some recordings, I guess, or whatever, but I don't think I can do live streams off of through the mobile or whatever, so I'll just do a recording and then post them up kind of thing and say, hey, this is Can Games, this is what the hell's going on. Or, oh my god, I just got my ass kicked in Britannia, and I should have watched more of Meandering Mike's videos or whatever, that type of stuff. Or, oh my god, look at what is at the flea market for this amount of price. Or, oh my god, this is the first person to actually purchase something from me, so I can actually officially call myself a peddler, for Christ's sakes, that type of stuff. Yeah, that's about it. I think I'm just going to go and poke around and do my stuff. Oh yeah, so for next week, it'll be part 2 of the naval component, I hope. Part 2 of chapter 4 of the CF moves inland. And hopefully we'll take a little bit more of the horrible things that are going on with the Gurlitz or the Great Retreat, and just I wouldn't mind taking a look to see if how they started cluing in of having to start using siege artillery. Like they really went in. Like I mean, well, watch and listen to that guy's lecture, man. He's freaking amazing, Scott Stevenson. About it, and like I said at the very end, the tail end, he's got a bunch of recommended reading and whatnots. I think that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go off and do my little thingamabobs. I'm so far behind too on videos. It's not funny. It's ridiculous. So I wouldn't mind getting back into that. That's about it. It was super nice, wonderful, guys, to see you again. I've got to remind myself to give Charles Latora some mind-blowing bonus points for nailing the Lusitania, and secondly also for being up. Crazy man. That's it. Thank you so much, guys, yet again. If please leave in the comments or whatever if you guys think there's any way of improving these live streams, or Chris, oh god, we never went to the Atlas map, the Berlin to Baghdad railway thingamajig. Meandering Mike says, ciao, y'all. So please, yeah, I mean, this is your live stream as well. This is what I'm trying to say, for crying out loud. I mean, otherwise, you know, like, that's it. Okay, off you go. Thanks, guys. Bye. Wink.